Thank you so much for staying with us. Tony Daniel is my guest tonight. He's a lawyer and political affairs analyst. As we take a look at the legal perspectives to the recent court ruling stopping CBN from further disbursing monthly allocations to Rivers State government. Thank you so much for staying with us, Mr. Daniel. So let's stay on the Rivers political tussle, because the ruling was predicated on the control for power between Governor Fubara and his godfather, or estranged political godfather. So would you say all what we've seen since December, different court rulings have been solving illegalities with illegalities?
Yes. If you are a party to a suit, you should not choose the judgment to follow. But it's becoming embarrassing to the judiciary where contradictory judgments are given by different courts on the same issues. So I commend the CJN for taking that proactive step to check it. Previous, I don't know whether to call it previous administration or previous CJN did not take this kind of proactive action. We've seen series of conflicting judgments, ex parte order, given pending the determination of substantive suit, where there is no motion or notice filed at the time of filing the ex parte application, and there's nothing you will do. Some will tell you, go to the Court of Appeal, because the Court of Appeal has so many cases. Go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, I have a case 8 years, I've not gotten a date. I have 8 cases that have lasted 4 years, I've not gotten one date. So the Supreme Court is just one court. And we have all the cases from all the Court of Appeals go to the Supreme Court, just one court. So, but the changes the current CJN has brought in is likely to address this, some of these issues.
What kind of changes are you talking about?
One, harmless applications and almost all motions are to be taken in chambers. So if you can be given a date, it will be taken, almost immediately. You can now filter cases and tell, because the cases that have prominence, so to say, at this Supreme Court are political cases, political matters. You see the speed at which they decide those ones. Of course, because the Constitution, the Electoral Act, give time limit to which matters, some matters should be taken. But you see, if we have an arrangement, and most of the cases we have at the Court of Appeal, they are cases that ought not to come to the Court of Appeal. If you are in litigation, you see certain judgment, you feel, oh no, this judgment is not really good. But you want to go to the Court of Appeal, it might take time.
So ordinarily, Governor Fubara should not appeal this ruling? No,
it's his choice. Okay. If he wants to appeal, he should appeal. I will not support a state to be stopped from executing, projects. He has ministries, he has salaries to pay. If he had complied with the decision of Justice Omotosho, the Constitution also gave him some leeway to take money from consolidated fund and to run the affair of this state for 6 months. Based on that, as far as the amount is taken, will not be above the amount approved previously in the previous appropriation bill. There's a constitutional provision to that effect. So he could have, the Attorney General ought to have advised him. And that brings me to the issue of somebody being an Attorney General, at the same time a Commissioner for Justice, or an Attorney General, at the same time the Minister for Justice. They are supposed to be 2 offices. The Attorney General of the Federation or that of a state is supposed to be that of the Accountant General. Accountant General appointment is by Constitution. Once the President appoints, it will be difficult to just, sack that person. And you need to consider a lot of, take into consideration some requirements.
Really, Mr. Daniel, can an Attorney General dictate to a typical Nigerian governor?
Not dictate, give your advice.
Advice.
Yes, give your advice and show an example. If you give an advice and he didn't take it, you leave. Yes. So let's see them do that. You leave. If you say, I have advised, he refused to take, so I'm out.
So I wanted to know the role the judiciary may have played in this on ending political or power tussle in Rivers State. The president has spoken, so many other stakeholders have spoken, but this tussle continues. For you, what must give way for peace to reign in Rivers State?
Judges personal integrity must remain intact. If you look at some of these judgments now, you will not hear that I gave money to X. Nobody is saying that. You cannot rule out attempts to do that. Once you give a judgment and it's this sound and it's causing controversy, know that that judge has refused to take money from the people who are making noise. I am telling you, you can presume it. If not, what are we, the one that, touches me most is the judgment of this Federal High Court judge, Justice Lifu, that ought to be commended. Was being vilified. There is no allegation. His integrity is intact. This judgment by Justice Abdulmalik is, I don't know, subject to further inquiry, but I think the integrity at the court and in law, we don't have ladies, we have men. So his integrity is also intact. I'm talking of Justice Abdulmalik. There are judges that when you read their judgment and look at the subject matter of that case, you can say this person plays straight. So one, judges must consider their integrity. I've seen a case where a motion ex parte, I took a copy. When I came back, they have ruled line in the case file and wrote something else with Biro, not knowing that I already have a. So you see all these skin, and you cannot easily address them. So one, we must, the judiciary should have at the registry a team of lawyers. Some of us are ready to give them services, some pro bono, where you must look at what they are filing. Okay. Whatever they are filing at the registry of the court, you look at it. And at that place, you can say, okay, this should go to these judges because it's not too serious. Another thing is that some of these judges, with due respect, their welfare is not taken into cognizance at all, honestly.
But there's been a 300 percentage increment.
No. It's not just the increment. For instance, you are litigating in Lagos. The judge has been transferred to Abuja. The judge have to come. Who takes care of the flight, the security, the apartment, the hotel, and all that? And judges cannot complain. The public relations department of the court, of the judiciary, they are not even talking. I didn't even know that they have a public relations department until the last time I came on here. Then some of my colleagues called me and said, there is a public relations department. And the judges, you see a judge taking cases in criminal matter, company matters, civil matter, arbitration, maritime, matrimonial, banking and finance. No. If you are taking criminal matter, stay on criminal matter. All criminal matters come to you. So one, there should be a strong team at the registry of every court. Two, judges should be specialized. Give them special area. I pity more our judges. They take all sorts of cases. Though the CJs of most courts, including the Federal High Court, are really making recurrent CJs. It's really putting in effort, trying to bring changes in the at the Federal High Court, where we know judges that are good in certain matters, you want to send it to them to handle. But the judges are never enough too. I think we need more judges. And talking about reforms, I don't want to be a judge because if you are a judge, too many restrictions. You cannot make friends. You cannot dance in your house. How much more to dance in a party? Everything is so strict, like you are one bishop, and then you give a judgment. Some are happy, some are angry, and all that. So we must look at the welfare of judges beyond the increment in their salaries. Right. Yes. If I have some of my mates that are judges, that are even members of the Court of Appeal, even Supreme Court. So now you have interactions with them, and you need to hear what they are going through. We can't be saying it outside, and they cannot complain.
All right.
Yes.
But apart from the judicial interference to that political crisis in Rivers State, which you've expanded to the importance of judicial reforms, Earlier, you've talked about the importance or the need for a political solution to stem the crisis in that state. What more can the president do at this point?
Well, you know, whatever position the president takes, they will ascribe it to politics. They will think it's because it's APC leader, is trying to make ground for APC. Now, but irrespective of what people would think, the president is the chief security officer of the country. He will not fold his hand and allow any part of the country to be governed by hooligans. That is what Rivers State is gradually degenerating into, where people come out openly, not afraid. Say, we are in charge here. If you move, we kill you, we do this. In our country, come on. And yet the president has not taken any action. If the president wants to stop that, he can stop that. The police have the ability to stop it. The joint military, police and other, they can stop this thing. But you see, we are just being careful not to cause more bloodshed. But we cannot continue to fold our hands, keep quiet, and allow hooligans to take affairs of security of a state. Something has to be done. Maybe the president should also look at the political solution and resolve this thing. Otherwise, it will continue to degenerate.
Well, the president had intervened twice.
Yes. We didn't really see the effect of that intervention, but I think Wike ought to play maturity here. Fubara is a junior to Wike in all ramifications. So if I am His Excellency ex-Governor Wike, current Minister for FCT, I will call Mubarak. I mean, Fubara.
Governor Fubara.
Fubara. I will call him and talk to him as a junior brother. And he will become more popular with that. He will win more love. Like me, I admire the way he works, but I'm not his fan. Maybe I will consider becoming his fan. If he can settle this matter, it's on him. Why wait for the president? Why wait for somebody? Yeah, if you have issues, disagreement, we don't know yet what would have happened between them. But we know something must have happened. Call this man, reach an understanding with him. Do you know that if Wike, Minister, Honorable Minister Wike, and the Honorable Governor, Honorable His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Fubara, meet, shake hands, not deceptive one, real practical one. That is the end of the crisis in Rivers State. That is the end. Once they make up, that is the end of the crisis. So if Fubara knows this, see, in the tradition Africa, when your son or your junior one offends, when you offend your junior one, assuming you are the one that offended your junior one, it is still your junior one that will, beg you. I've offended one old man the old man offended me. While he was going to apologize, he said, do you want me to kneel down for you? I quickly bowed down for the man. He gave me a wine and said, I'm sorry. But he was the one that really offended me. So Wike should call this man. But
this is about political structure of a state, and politicians don't joke with that.
See, Fubara should be interested in doing 8 years. The way he's going...
Maybe he's not interested.
Oh, no. Is there any governor, any person that becomes a governor that wouldn't want to, rule for that 8 years? No. When he was sworn in, I remember the advice ex-Governor Fayose gave to him. I saw the video and warned him of this incident with Wike, as if he was predicting. He said he tried to, he had wanted, he wanted to fight with Wike, but he had to bow to Wike. Fayose said it and advised the governor, be careful, don't go beyond this, don't go beyond that. When you see something and you get too involved in that thing, you will have trouble. We don't know what they were saying. That is Latin. But then he was advising Fubara. Fubara and Governor Wike were sitting together, So Fubara should know this idea of wasting state resources, this idea of encouraging oligarchism. By the time the dust is clear and we settle, because eventually there will be sanity in Rivers State, where will you get the guns? They will be used by criminals to make the state also ungovernable for you. You didn't think about that. You didn't think about your next. Governor Wike, for all you know, has done in 8 years. He's right now a minister of the federal government of Nigeria. You are just starting a strong political career. You should think of the future. That is why I stated last time I was here, and I'm stating it again, that the solution is political. They are causing more judicial and legal crisis for us. Avoidable crisis. We want Rivers State to be in peace.
Thank you for going there, because I was going to ask you, if you had an opportunity to sit with both men, what would you be telling them? But apparently you've answered that. But let's go back to...
I would tell them, in addition to what I've said, that the state is senior to us. The state is paramount. The state is more superior. The existence of the state. Without society, where is the human being? What do you want to do? The society must exist. The society must be in peace. For you to make any gains, whether political, administrative, financial, if there is chaos here, for instance, we can't be sitting here to talk. So the society must, the existence of the society is paramount. Rivers State first before anything.
All right. Let's go back to the proliferation of conflicting orders, because Justice Kekereekun has now constituted a panel to investigate all judges. What are your expectations from that investigation?
Wow, it's a very good one. I've commended the CBN. Judges will now know that they can answer if they make conflicting judgment. I have experienced, I didn't want to say this, where a judge didn't know that I am the lawyer to the other party.
Okay.
And asked the registrar to call me into his chambers and was talking as if he was talking to the lawyer to the other party. So you can imagine that. I wouldn't want to go into what the judge said. So these judges will know that, yes, there is a limit to which you can go. You must look at, I was in court today, a judge sitting at TBS was told that a similar case is being taken before another judge. And he said he got them to confirm that, and he struck out his own case. Some judges will say, no, they will still go on. So you have two cases in two different courts. So the judges will know that you can be called to order beyond your own immediate superior, because their superior is the CJs, the CJ of the Lagos State High Court, the CJ of the Federal High Court, the president of the Court of Appeal, the Oba Olorioke, which is the Supreme Court, can call you and say, why did you do this? We were not having that before. You just criticize, make comment, nobody is doing anything. It shows that the current CGN listens, feels it, and is ready to work. I don't know how many years he has to go, but I hope he will stay a long time to consolidate on these changes he's bringing to the judiciary. You
know, but I mean, realistically, there are those who have said interferences come in different forms. Apart from political interferences, even your spouses at home, your children can, try to interfere. But how possible is it that judges live above this?
Judges are supposed to be detached. They are supposed to look at the case detached. I've had a judge say to a criminal, I feel you committed this offense, but I don't have evidence to convict you. Next time you fall into this kind of case and there's evidence, you will go to jail. But I have no choice than to discharge and acquit you. Now, a member of the National Assembly once told us that a wife who was a powerful member of the Court of Appeal was assisting his friends. I hope you remember that issue. Now, there are issues like that. The judges are humans like us. They are in the society where we live. So we cannot totally cut out certain sentiments from affecting them. But you see, we should, any judge that any judge that allow his judgment or decision influenced by sentiment, by anything outside judicial consideration, legal argument, legal consideration, will remember that there is a CJN, like the current CJN. We remember that it might be disciplined beyond the his immediate boss, the chief judge of that court. So I think what the CJN is currently doing is enough to, get some judges to toe the line of decency, to consider proper judicial issues. Yes, not, align sentiment or influences. I don't want to go into compromises. I don't want to use that.
You've talked about punitive actions. So in what way can the new CBN beat into line erring judges and their conduct? Because this is not the first time a CJN will be calling to order erring judges. In the past, it has not really had direct impact on their conduct at the end of the day.
The CJN is the chief, is the head of the, Nigerian Judicial Service Commission. From what Justice Kekereekun is doing, he would like to bite and not back. I'm very sure we will see her. Because
she's a woman?
It's a man in the judiciary.
Yes.
He will soon start backing. He has been backing. You will see him bite soon. I can predict that the current CJN will bite and let those who are under him know that I don't only back, but I can bite when it is necessary. We are waiting for him to bite.
All right.
I can tell you that he will definitely bite.
All right, then. Great conversation tonight. It was important for us to have that conversation because of the latest developments and the past precedents this has laid, especially for the judiciary. So I must thank you so much for coming on the program. Mr. Tony Daniel, lawyer, political affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your perspectives on the program.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.